Hello and welcome to the magic of fishing. Today you join me on the most magical of all fishing days, certainly for us UK river fishing addicts. It's the 16th of June. That means the rivers are back open for fishing after 3 months rest, and I for one am desperate to wet a line again on running water. It's about 6:30 AM and I'm back on the banks of the fantastic Throop fishery on the Dorset Stour. I drove down yesterday and spent some time with my mate Martin Pears, who was good enough to show me around the river, and I was able to explore a bit further than I had on my previous visit back in the depths of winter in January. But if you've seen that video, I managed some fantastic chub and a barbel on floatfish maggot, even though the river was quite high and the weather was really bitterly cold that week. So I'm awestruck to see the river looking in its full summer finery this week. There's reeds everywhere, there's dense vegetation, lily pads, willows leaning over the water. It looks absolutely awesome. And not only that, but Martin was good enough to show me a few favoured spots, and we put in a bit of bait, chucked in a few pellets, and I could not believe, first of all, how big the chub were, and secondly, how willing they were to feed so close to us in clear water. My chub personal best has stood at £5 10 ounces for many years now, a fish that was quite respectable from my local river way in Surrey, but from this majestic fishery, 6-pounders and even 7-pounders are the target. And today I really do stand a chance of breaking my personal best. It would make for a very memorable day, but I've got a feeling it's going to be very memorable anyway. Just look at the amount of aquatic plant life and indeed bird life on this beautiful river. Now we're in June, and the first place I've stopped is Chib's pool, where I managed to hook 3 chub last time I was here. Lost a real brute of a fish that I couldn't move at first. A hook pulled, left me distraught, but I managed 2 other fish that made up for that, and they've cleared a lot of vegetation in the closed season. There's a nice deep pool on the left that I'm hoping to trundle a bit of free-line luncheon meat down into. There are so many factors that have got my heart rate through the roof. Obviously it's the first time I've fished on a river for a good 3 months, so just being back on running water is exciting. Secondly, it's the Dorset Stour, a legendary chub fishery, and just fantastic river in general to have my first cast on. Then there were all the big chub I saw with Martin yesterday. Real chance of a PB. And then last but not least, the fish are that little less wary for the first day or 2 of the season. And you've always got that chance of a quick bite or 2. Just letting that meat trundle down into the deeper spot under the trees, waiting to feel any kind of a pluck on the line, tightening of the line, touch legering. Oh, with steam still rising from the river downstream, I can't quite believe I'm doing this all here. It's an out-of-body experience. Oh yeah, that was definite pull. Definite pull. First cast down. Oh, didn't quite strike quickly enough. Oh, wasn't ready to strike, should I say. Oh, that's incredible. My heart is absolutely pounding. And I think people who don't fish just don't understand this kind of excitement. They think it's all about old men sat by ponds half asleep. Couldn't be further from the truth. The other thing I've forced myself to do is wait a little bit to fish. Let's bring that back in. Let's see if the bait's gone, which it has. I've waited to fish and I've just been putting a little bit of meat down the swim, trying to get the confidence up even further of any fish that are down there. This is actually one spot where we didn't see any fish because it's a bit deeper. The river's not too deep. We've not had much rain at all, of course, throughout the spring and early summer. And there were plenty of places where you could see the bottom, you could see the gravels and the streamer weed. Quite often the chub would come out from that weed into the gaps and take the pellets that Martin was throwing in. But this is a bit of a deeper spot, so although I've not seen any fish taking bait here, it did feel like the natural place to stop first, and then I'll work my way further downstream and see where else might be free. Perhaps trying some of the spots where we did see fish. Just waiting to feel that electric feel of movement down the line. There's a take. Yes, we've got one. We've got one. Oh, oh no, and he's off. He's off. Oh, that's heartbreak. Let's try again. Get that confidence back up again. Oh, what an adrenaline-packed start. I decided to give Chib's pool a rest. No more fish, and it's not that surprising after losing one. It's amazing how quickly the fish will regain their natural instinctive caution. So I've moved down to the gate swim, where yesterday I watched Martin feed some fantastic chub into action. And I'm just going to see whether I can replicate it. It's not for no reason that he joked as soon as it became the 16th, the fish would disappear. Like they've got an inbuilt calendar. But hopefully, as I'm the first to fish this spot, we can winkle one out. And there were one or two biggies. See whether I can see some with my polarised glasses on. Very low light levels. It's early morning. So it's quite tricky to see through the water. I can see right down this gravel patch, and there's just some very small chub babies of a few ounce taking pellets there. But this is the trick. As much as you're desperate to make a cast and see if there's anything down there, you've got to get that confidence going. Don't think the glasses are helping at this point because the sun's still very low. Also caught up with Steve, the bailiff, for this stretch yesterday. It was nice to see him. Oh, and one of the big fish has moved in, down close. Let's get a bit more bait. Now this is the time not to get overexcited. Although it's nearly impossible. Right, by my standards, I've been unbelievably patient. I've been giving this a good 20 minutes of single pellets and pieces of meat, and although I've not managed to recreate Martin's behaviour in the fish, it's a different time of day, still early. I've not got them feeding confidently down on these gravels. I have seen plenty of bait being taken just beyond some reeds down here, and I think it's time to have a cast. My heart is in my mouth. Who knows? But let's give it a go. Just going to have to keep an eye on the bait and that line as it drifts down. Let it trundle naturally with the current. I'm just looking for that line to tighten up, pull across the surface. Of course, it wouldn't surprise me at all if that doesn't happen, because these fish are not daft despite having had a rest from us anglers bothering them. It's going downstream nicely. Certainly not been attacked in the main area where I've been feeding. There might be fish hanging back off that area. Let's give it a bit of time down there. That was a pluck. Yes, we've got one. We've got one. Oh, oh. Oh, we've got a fish. Now do not lose this one, John. A lot of weed down there and he's already gone a bit solid. Come on, keep that pressure on. Oh. Yes, he's out. He's out, come on. Now where's that net? Oh, we've got a through chub. Oh, beautiful sight. And he's over the net. Lovely fish. Oh, look at that. Deep bronze. He's not one of the monsters I saw yesterday, but he's a beautiful fish of 4.5 pound. Really nice, deep, brassy fish. Look at that for a fantastic opening day Dorset Stour chub. absolutely breathtaking. It's got my heart pounding. Just felt that line tighten up to the tip through my fingers and wham. Absolute gem of a chub. Made me a very, very happy man. Let's get him back. Now, I would normally do this upstream of where I'm fishing, so as not to spook the remainder of the shoal, but there is no easy upstream spot here. It's dense vegetation, really crystal clear water. Off he goes to warn the rest of them. What a feeling. It's hard to describe, isn't it? Only us anglers truly understand, but it's part adrenaline fueled exhilaration and part deep, mellow satisfaction. It's one of the best feelings in the world. I'm off the mark on opening day with an absolutely stunning chub. And I have seen a couple of anglers walk past me. I think it's going to be fairly busy today, as you'd expect, and it might be harder to come by some of the more favoured swims further downstream. So I'm going to give it a bit long here, despite having just returned a fish very noisily to the area. I'm going to get back to feeding, give it a rest, and we'll have another go. One last go, or one last series of runs through before we move on. Got some ducks now interested in the bait. Well, I have made my way down to the famous Wendy house swim, and miraculously there's no one here. And I don't say miraculously because I've fished it before and know how good it is, but certainly Martin said it is one of the preferred swims by local anglers, so to get this on opening day, I feel pretty chuffed. And so the patient process begins again. I'm desperate to make a cast. The sort of swim you read about as a kid, or I did, growing up in Sheffield, seeing pictures of huge chub in Angling Times and Angler's Mail. Throop would often be one of the names. Right, I cannot put this off anymore. It's time to creep out into the fairly chilly water, so clear. I can see there's fish taking pellets. Just a question of whether they're going to take one suspended below a float. Lots of minnows below me. Yeah, just a question of whether they'll be fooled by one that's not sinking like the others, but that's moving along below a float with a hook attached. I'll give it a run down and see. If that float goes under, my heart is going to go into my mouth. Trying quite shallow at first, probably a couple of foot deep. Just running it down alongside the weeds. The sun's just come out for the first time really today. So I've got my shades on. And now it might just be a case of continuing to feed and getting them used to a new presence by the water, or in the water should I say. And we'll give it a good few runs down shallow. And if I'm not having any joy like that, we can try putting a bit of depth on. Just very cautious of getting caught up in weed and causing a commotion in the swim. Trying to free a rig. That's made it all the way down. I've not fished many places at all like this where you can see fish in the swim before you start. Bump there on the float, that could have been a small fish having a look. A crystal chubber style or loafer style float on, so hopefully that's not going to stand out like a sore thumb. But I do think it's all going to be about the feeding today and building up the confidence of fish. Ideally getting them to compete for the free offerings. I'll tell you what folks, getting the famous swim on a well-known fishery does not guarantee you bites or fish. I've been giving it a really good go with rolling meat and banded pellet on the float, but although I've seen one or two fish mooching about, they almost seem put off by the loose offerings, shying away from them rather than attracted to them, like they were yesterday on the 15th of June. It might just be Martin's special knack with these fish, but I suspect it's actually the noise, albeit minimal, that I'm making getting in and out of the water and sorting my gear out. They're just aware that something's not quite as it was for the last few weeks and months. So I'm going to set up a slightly more finesse float rod and rig. Go down in terms of line strength and hook size, probably 4 pounds straight through to a 16, and maybe a banded pellet. Got some bread to try as well. And I will keep persevering, but it's not going to be easy. But I am determined to try and crack it, whether it's this swim or a different one. That one fish I've had gives me great hope. And I had a fantastic chat to Martin over a beer last night, where he showed me a few photos of some of the amazing fish he's caught over the years from both here, the Dorset Stour, and further afield on the Trent and Severn. Really enjoyable chat, and it's got me right in the mood to try and crack one of these biggies. We have got a chub, or a fish at least, from the Wendy house stretch on rolled meat at long last. Been trying lots of float fished bread and pellets. Finally something's gone for the meat. That seems to be the method today. Oh, and it's good to have a bend in the rod again. I don't think he's a big one. It's a Wendy house chub. Brilliant. He couldn't resist. I wonder if I can just bring him towards me. Oh. Hooray! We've done it. Well, he's not one of the big boys that have been plaguing my, well, the last few hours, just swimming around and around in the swim and not looking at the bait, but a free line bait, bit of meat, and we've got one of the smaller fish. Really happy with that, from the Wendy house. If you'd have told me last night, as I was struggling to get to sleep with excitement, that I would walk away from the Wendy house swim with big chub patrolling up and down near the surface, I would have told you were crazy. But I think I will go crazy if I give it any more time here. They know I'm here, as quiet as I've tried to be, and they're really cute fish. They can see all but the finest of lines, and they can see a hook bait's not behaving quite right. They're swimming past loose offerings, and I think I would go crazy if I stay here much longer. So I'm gonna pack up here and have a wander back upstream and fish perhaps one of the swims that I tried this morning, or find somewhere new. But I think I need a fresh start, and I might give it a go on the tip. I'm just watching the tip at the moment. First time I've had a go legering today, and there's not a lot of choice of swims. I was chatting to someone a little while ago who said they'd spoken to the bailiff. I met her this morning as well. She apparently told them there's about 30 people on Throop today. I can't blame them, of course, opening day of the season. It has made swim choice a little tricky. I've just come over the bridge and round to the other side, and there's a bit of deep water, deep for this stretch, beyond some weeds in front of me. And I've just flicked a little link ledger with a small dumbbell boilie beyond the weeds, scattered a few loose offerings and a bit of pellets as well. I'm just trying the wait and see approach rather than the drive myself insane approach. And talking of which, I've just been watching a lovely young lad, Joe, and his dad and his mate fishing on the opposite bank. They're still opposite in fact, and he was trying to catch a chub on free line pellet. Both him and his mate had had one already this morning, and I watched him hook one. Unfortunately spat the hook, but they really are cute fish. Numerous times taking his free samples and then turning away at the last second at the one with his hook in it. And again, they are clever fish. So it's not just me struggling to get any numbers of chub, and other anglers I've spoken to on the way up and the way around have said it's tricky. I can't complain at the conditions. There's a nice little breeze, it's not too hot, there's some cloud cover, but I think with all the new activity from anglers on the river, they've worked it out already, and it is proving tricky. But we'll see whether a static bait might pick anything up. This is summer fishing. Not always easy. but always enjoyable. Lazy days by the river, waiting for a fish to bite. There's not many other places I'd rather be. Well folks, I've just made quite a difficult decision in the early evening sun, and that's to pack up soon and head back to my digs to do some preparation for the next 2 days of fishing. Won't be at Throop, this wonderful fishery run by Ringwood Angling Association. Day tickets are available online or from local tackle shops, and I think really good value. But some more exciting fishing coming, and I'm sure that will be on your screens before too long. The other reason is that I've spoken to a few anglers and some friendly passers-by, and no one is catching much in the last few hours. It's great to see so many anglers out enjoying opening day and enjoying the summer sun, but I think these wily old fish know what's going on, and I don't expect the next bite o'clock to happen until it's nearly dark. And as much as I'd love to catch one of the real biggies from Throop before I have to head back, I just think that's too much for today. I've been on the go since 5 AM, I was in the car park at 6, and there is a lot of prep to do for the next 2 days. So I'm cutting my losses short, and I had an absolutely magical opening day morning with a couple of beautiful chub. So I hope you understand, and I hope you look forward to even more river fishing adventures coming this summer. Until then, take care. Thanks as always for your support. Tell your mates about it, and I'll see you again soon on the bank.